Posted by you/Athena Gracie. I feel like my therapist destroyed me. Using a throwaway account here, but hi everyone, exactly what the title says. I've been seeing my T for 5 years now, and we had what I thought was a good therapeutic relationship. She felt like the only stable constant person in my life. She's my age, late 20s early 30s, but I looked at her like a maternal figure. Over time our boundaries lapsed, but I just thought it was because she cared so much. She would tell me that I was more than just a client, I was like a sister to her. She would be there for me if I was having a bad night, and she would let me call. She introduced me to her boyfriend and her daughter. It was honestly a shit show free for all. In the back of my mind, I questioned if this was all normal, but I thought, oh, she must just care for me. I recently went through something heavily traumatic, and she would let me call her house after dinner time and chat with her. I feel like lately she's grown exasperated and is unable to help me. When, if I call, she's snappy or aloof, like she's doing something she doesn't want to be doing. We shared a coping mechanism of laughing, making jokes, but now it seems like I pour my heart out and she laughs or makes a joke, and all of a sudden it isn't fucking funny anymore. I want to disengage altogether, but I feel stuck. Besides my kids, I have no one. No adults who care. I feel completely alone. I feel disconnected from my friends and loved ones. I have a feeling I have PTSD or something, and this has made it worse. I'm too dependent on my therapist, and it shatters my heart to try to break away. I feel like I don't have the right coping mechanisms, and I don't know what to do. I have been talking to her every day for months, and I want to stop, but it makes me feel so empty. I don't sleep at night. Part of me is upset because I feel like she's destroyed me, and I don't know how to fix this. I don't know what I'm asking here. Has anyone been through this? What do I do? How do I fix this? How do I heal? Thank you. I cross-posted this to ask a therapist as well. Now on to some comments before the updates. Posted by Comfortable Command 1. I'm so sorry. None of this is your fault. It was your therapist's job to hold boundaries. She's the professional. It's not your fault you became overdependent. Your therapist should have made sure that didn't happen. I was in exactly the same situation. I know how devastating it is. I'm only just recovering. I wish you well. Give yourself lots of time. OP responded with, thank you so much. How did you recover? I am devastated. Posted by Throwaway 1585. I feel for you. I had a somewhat similar experience with a former therapist, and when she cut me out of her life, it was absolutely devastating. She gave me everything I thought I ever wanted from my parents and didn't get. Little did I know she took advantage of how vulnerable I was, and I was a minor at the time. She'd known me since I was 12, and looking back, I seriously think she groomed me and then confessed she loved me shortly after I turned 18. The only thing that has helped me process the relationship I had with her is time and getting a new therapist that could help me rationalize and understand that it was never my fault. I thought I had done something wrong for her to cut me off. I didn't understand how she violated nearly every boundary possible and acted extremely unethically. You are not to blame here. Your therapist has created a sense of dependency, and I understand why you latched on like you did. You thought she cared, and I think nearly anyone in your position would think the same. I'm so sorry you're going through this. My best advice is to find a new therapist that will uphold boundaries and help you process this experience. A therapist can absolutely care deeply for a client, but a shit show free for all like you described does more harm than good in every case I've heard about. Best of luck, Op. I hope you can find healing. OP responded with, thank you so much, I needed this. Posted by Maleficent Mind 4. I looked at your cross-post in r/a therapist. I am shocked that some of the replies are either saying that you should do the work to re-establish boundaries and continue a therapy relationship, or that you should find a new therapist but cultivate the friendship with this one. What? You're the client. She's the professional. She failed you. The relationship has been emotionally damaging to you, and that is her fault 100% because it was her job to keep it safe and she didn't. You get to move on, and you have to do the work to heal from this, and that sucks. Leaving will hurt. It might feel a lot worse before it gets better. It can be better. Staying will mean it only progresses from here, only gets worse. OP responded with, I thought the same thing. Maybe because I am so attached they think it might be what I want, so I took it with a grain of salt, but suffice it to say I was feeling super confused after reading some. Some were even therapists, and they're like, yeah, that's cool. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand that they are human obviously and no one is without flaws, but I just feel hurt, and I know that my T is the one in the position of power. I feel screwed over. Thanks for making me feel validated. Posted by me _inside_your_head. I just wanted to reiterate and flag something that top responder said. Do have a look at the therapy exploitation link line website. There are a lot of good articles and info there in regard to therapy exploitation. The site is not just limited to sexual harm but includes resources for the emotional harm that therapists can inflict upon their clients. I found the site very helpful when I was coming to terms and dealing with an unhealthy attachment to my ex-T. https://www.therapyabuse.org/ OP responded with, "Thank you so much. I'm on the website now and I'm so angry. I'm so upset. Part of me feels bad because I'm like, oh, my therapist cared about me enough to go the extra mile for me. So, I feel guilty being angry because she's just human. And then I get upset all over again." I sent her an email telling her that she's been great, but I wish she'd given me the tools to help myself instead of cultivating such a dependency on her. IDK, part of me is scared she'll be mad at me, and maybe it's the healthiest thing to cut ties, but I know myself, I know I'd crumble under such a sudden departure, you know. This is all so fucked. Now on to update 1. I feel like my therapist destroyed me. Trying to omit as much identifying information as possible, so this is difficult for me. My sister died the other day. It was sudden and it was traumatic. I am traumatized. I am devastated. I am trying to navigate life while dealing with this grief. She lived far away, and I didn't get to see her much in recent years, but she is still my sister, and I don't even know how to work through all the guilt and sadness. All of a sudden, my T pulled back. I will admit that this is on me, but I would text her and would receive no response when she used to respond, so the other night I was like, I understand if you're busy, but it hurts to cry and bare my soul and be essentially ignored. I texted her that on the day my sister died. She didn't acknowledge me for 2 days. She does this thing where she says she needs time to cool off, but she will just really give me the silent treatment for days, and it's the 3rd time that has happened, and I understand needing to cool off, but due to previous abuse from my ex, the silent treatment is my weakness. I hate it. So, she finally leaves me a voicemail, lambasting me. Telling me how disgusted she is with my behavior and how insulted she is by my attitude. She told me I am ungrateful and don't appreciate how much she's done for me, which is untrue. I was taken aback. I bawled. I cried and had such a bad panic attack that I got chest pain and had to take a beta blocker. I apologized profusely. I'm the type of person who feels the need to apologize over and over again, and I don't know when is enough or how much apology is enough, but I essentially gravelled and begged for over an hour. She never responded, so I fell asleep. I couldn't even eat dinner, and I can't even eat breakfast the next day. I woke up yesterday to a text from her saying, "You could have texted or called me. I waited for you to text me last night and you did not." First of all, judging by the voicemail that I got, I would not have been under the impression that she even remotely wanted to hear from me. Second, the back and forth is giving me whiplash. I am devastated and don't know what to do, but my anxiety is through the roof. I have an appointment with my psychiatrist this afternoon. She fit me in for an urgent appointment because I'm so distraught. So at least there's that. What I want to do logically is to sit down and have a talk with her and be like, you are not my therapist, you've learned the boundaries, and I don't have the same trust, and I don't know how I'm supposed to be open in session. But I don't have the balls to do it, and also, I'm just so used to being abused that I don't even know what abuse is, and I will keep people in my circle even if they treat me poorly just because I'm so scared to not have anybody. I found a new therapist who focuses on trauma, and I have an appointment with them in 2 weeks. Thank God. It's private pay, but I don't even care. I am in Texas for whatever that's worth. Now on to update number 2. I feel like my therapist destroyed me. I made that post a few months ago, and I'm so grateful to everyone who has reached out on here. You all may not have known it, but you helped me through one of the most difficult times of my life. I come from a background of trauma and abuse, and I'm a people pleaser. It took me a while to quit therapy. A little more background: my therapist and I bonded over our similar family issues. I never felt like I could talk to my mom much about personal things. My therapist was like, I see you as a sister, but gradually she started acting more maternal, texting and checking on me. She started referring to herself as Mama, and on the days leading up to therapy when she would send me a reminder she would say, "Tomorrow is Mama Day. You get to see Mama tomorrow," etc. I was so vulnerable and in a bad place and didn't think much of it. If I'm being honest, I was flattered. Like my inner child finally had a mom. She let me talk to her husband on the phone and wanted us to move with their family when they moved. In my heart I thought it was all too good to be true, and it was. Anyway, when everything in my last post happened, I started to become more assertive, as difficult as it was. She didn't like that. She told me the old you was delightful. The new you is not lovable. She's not even likable. This gutted me. My main trigger has always been feeling unloved or like I'm not enough, and she knew it. It devastated me and I became like I want to self-delete. When I told her that her words hurt me, she told me that is so out of character. I would never say that. You make shit up. I think you fill in the blanks in your head with what you think you hear. I was like, no, I know you said it, to which she interrupted, I'm not going to argue with you. I was devastated again. I feel like a crazy person. I know she said it. I know she did. I'm so upset that she said all those things about me. I started seeing a new therapist who is trauma-informed and does EMDR. So far, I've had 1 or 2 serious EMDR sessions and while exhausting, it's been helpful. She is finally helping me work up the courage to file a report against my old T. She said she sounds like a narcissist, a gaslighter, and almost abusive. It was very validating to hear those things because I felt like I was going crazy. It took me a long time to get to this point. I have texts and voicemails and pictures from her, and I hope it's enough for my report to be taken seriously. I felt immense guilt about messing with her livelihood, but my new T assured me that she made that choice when she violated ethical boundaries. I am still so beyond broken, especially as the holiday season has creeped in. I'm just trying to hold it together and be kind to myself. I want to thank you all for being so kind to me and for all your advice. It's been hard to work up the nerve to write and it was super triggering and cringy to have to relive it all. I cross-posted this to another sub as well. Now on to the final update. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Hi guys, I don't know if you remember me. Almost a year ago, I made this post. It is 100% worth the read if you have the time. I was rereading journal entries I'd written around this time of year, and I was in such a low place. I was wanting to self-delete. It took me a few more months of torture before I could gather the courage to quit therapy. I didn't even go into half the details of how this woman treated me. I never thought I'd get over this, but I'm happy to report I'm doing much better. I have been with a new therapist for 8 months now and she's much better. She is caring and has good boundaries and I leave therapy feeling better instead of worse. I still have moments where I cry about my old therapist and I still have trauma pertaining to her, but things are so much better. My therapist says she's noticing an improvement in me and that's one of the best things I can hear. I also am doing EMDR therapy, and it has been incredible. I want to thank everyone who supported and encouraged me, and I wanted to post this because if you're in a similar position, there is hope. If one person sees this and it inspires them or gives them hope, then I figured it's worth it to post. You all deserve the best, you deserve to be loved and deserve therapists who truly have your best interests at heart. Wishing you all happy healing.